When Jake Miller's old truck sputtered to its final breath on a desolate back road just outside Amarillo, he didn't know his life was about to change forever. The sun was setting behind a rusted sign that read, "A Roy's Last Chance Gas 8 Open If You Dare." With his 8-year-old son, Toby, fast asleep in the passenger seat, Jake had no choice but to push the truck the last 100 feet to the crumbling station. The place looked like it hadn't seen a real customer in years. The boards nailed over cracked windows, a faded Coke machine tipped on its side, and weeds taller than the pumps. But it wasn't empty. As Jake peeked inside the dusty shop, he saw six kids, filthy and thin, huddled together like stray cats. One of them, a girl with tangled hair and eyes far too old for her 12 years, stared back at him without flinching. Jake's first instinct was to call Sumienia Child Services, the sheriff, anyone. But when he asked, "Where are your parents?" the girl just shrugged. "Ain't got none." They had been drifting, one by one, from broken homes and nowhere towns, drawn together by a promise of shelter at this forgotten gas station. An old man named Roy used to take them in until he died months ago, leaving them to fend for themselves. Jake knew he didn't have much. His wife had passed 5 years back. He worked 2 jobs just to keep a roof over Toby's head. He didn't even have a running truck anymore. But staring at those kids, hungry, lost, unlovable, he couldn't just walk away. When word got out that Jake had taken in 6 so-called gas station rats, people laughed behind his back. Some said he was just asking for trouble. "You'll end up robbed blind, Jake. They'll burn your house down," neighbors whispered. But Jake ignored them. He brought the kids home, crammed them into his 2-bedroom fixer-upper, fed them what little he had, and gave them the first clean beds they'd slept in for years. The days were hard. Toby had to share his dad's time and his toys, but he never complained. "They're my brothers and sisters now," he'd say proudly at school, despite the teasing he got for it. But the world didn't stop mocking Jake. One night, after a double shift, he came home to find a crude sign stuck in his yard. "A Jake's House of Misfits, say next stop, go." He tore it down, his hands trembling with anger and exhaustion. But when he turned around, all 6 kids and Toby were standing behind him, eyes wide, each holding a scrap of cardboard where they'd scribbled a "thank you, Dad" in shaky handwriting. That night, Jake sat at the kitchen table, bills piling up, wondering if he'd made a mistake. He'd poured every penny into feeding these kids. He didn't even have enough to fix the truck that had died in the first place. In desperation, he thought about the old gas station, and maybe there was something there he could sell for scrap. So, the next morning, Jake and the kids loaded up in a borrowed pickup and headed back to Roy's Last Chance Gas. While they rummaged through the dusty shelves, one of the boys, Mikey, found a rusted log box hidden under the floorboards in the office. Inside was a stack of yellowed papers, a few faded photographs and a deed. At first, Jake thought it was worthless junk, but the papers told a different story. Decades ago, Roy's father had bought the land around the station, which turned out to be sitting on a massive natural gas deposit worth over $400 million today. Roy had never cashed in on it, living his life quietly, helping strays like these kids instead. Jake's hands shook as he read through the paperwork. He could sell it all and be rich beyond his wildest dreams. But the kids were his priority now. So, with a lawyer's help, he made a plan. He didn't take the payout for himself. Instead, he created a trust that would secure the kids' futures, homes, schooling, and a community center for other kids like them. And yes, he fixed the truck. Years later, Jake still works 2 jobs, only now, it's by choice. His little family is bigger, happier, and still a little scrappy. Toby is a high school graduate. The gas station kids went from outcasts to honors students, athletes, and artists, each of them believing in something they'd never known before, family. When people ask Jake how he did it, he just smiles. "Sometimes what looks broken is just waiting for someone to care enough to fix it," he says. "And sometimes, a junk gas station hides a fortune, but the real treasure is the people you save along the way."